It's been 10 years since they walked away from the cameras. And today, they're finally speaking out. What really happened after Little People Big World? The truth might surprise you. Want a more dramatic tone? Or something light and nostalgic? This spring marks a major milestone in the life of Jacob Roloff, a former child star on TLC's Little People Big World. After spending more than a decade growing up in front of millions of viewers, Jacob is now celebrating 10 years of life beyond the cameras. And he's using the moment to reflect, not with nostalgia, but with brutal honesty. In a heartfelt Instagram post, Jacob shared the turning point in his life. This spring marks 10 years since I got my money from the show I was on for over 10 years of my life, he wrote. I was 18 and finally had the agency to not sign the contract, so I didn't. And just like that, he walked away from a reality TV empire that shaped, and in many ways scarred his childhood. I promptly left home mostly due to disgust for the show and reality TV in general. Instead of leveraging his fame to build a bigger public persona, or cashing in on the family name, Jacob took a different path. I used that money to build my world back again with my wife, rather than capitalize on it for all it was worth, for better or worse. Now 10 years later, Jacob lives a quiet, grounded life on Roloff Farms with his wife, Isabel, and their young son. Together, they've chosen to live a life rooted in something deeper: land, legacy, and healing. I am grateful for my new life, growing things and stewarding the land, Jacob shared. For Jacob, farming isn't just a lifestyle, it's a mission. What I want to do for as long as I am able is to emphasize and deepen a reform back to community-based agritourism, he said. Farmland is sacred now, especially in a world of nearly lost topsoil and diminishing nutrient density in our foods. Jacob's message is clear. In a time where land is disappearing to development and the food system is failing, he sees stewardship of the earth as his true calling, far removed from the artificial drama of reality TV. Movie camera, you'll never see that from me on TV again. This isn't the first time Jacob has publicly denounced the show that made his family famous. As early as 2016, he made it crystal clear that there would be no return to the small screen. I get comments on here all the time about how people miss me on the show, or telling me I should do a few more episodes with the family, he wrote. I'm posting this to say that will never happen. While many fans still hold on to the hope of a Roloff family reunion on TV, Jacob shut that idea down, firmly and respectfully. The family that is filmed is not my family, he explained. They are the Roloff characters, and I have scarcely anything in common with them, nor do I want to be a character myself. He added, I am with my family and I love them. I'm just here to say you'll never see that from me on TV again. Broken heart, the hidden pain behind the exit. Jacob's decision to leave the show wasn't only about disillusionment with reality TV. It was about reclaiming his voice after years of silence. In a powerful 2020 Instagram post, Jacob revealed that he had been the victim of sexual abuse during production. It is often much easier to think about things than it is to talk about them, he wrote. So this disclosure has been delayed, but through that delay I have found the fortitude in words. He then named the abuser as Chris Cardamone, an executive field producer for Little People, Big World. As a child, after what I realize now was a long grooming process, I was molested by an executive field producer. Jacob's post sent shockwaves across the reality TV world, shining a light on a side of the industry often kept in the dark. He added, I choose to disclose it now as it remains a traumatic memory that needs to be exorcised of any further power over my development. He called it a positive step forward, a part of his healing process. This revelation came during a cultural reckoning in Hollywood, where former child stars were finally breaking their silence. In the wake of documentaries like Quiet on Set, Jacob's story became a powerful reminder that fame and trauma often go hand in hand, especially for those who grow up in the spotlight. House with Garden, the farm, the family, and the future. As the Roloff family continued filming the show without him, things behind the scenes were growing more complicated. In recent years, drama surrounding Roloff Farms has drawn attention and criticism from fans. When family patriarch Matt Roloff put the farm up for sale, many believed it would naturally pass down to one of his children. But when Zach and Jeremy Roloff both made offers to buy the property, Matt turned them down. This decision deeply hurt both sons and sparked a family rift. Zach and his wife Tori moved away and started their own life far from the farm. Jeremy and his wife Audrey did the same, although they reportedly remained somewhat close to Matt. Fans expected Jacob, the youngest Roloff, to eventually inherit the farm, especially since he's the one still helping maintain it day to day. But it turns out the situation is more complex. Recently, Jacob's wife Isabel responded to a fan on social media, who asked whether Jacob would be taking over the farm. "We can't afford to buy it from Matt fully," she admitted. "But we do love living here while we can, and Jacob takes good care of it." Some fans felt frustrated by this, wondering why Matt wouldn't pass down the land to his children. One commenter wrote, "What's the point of generational wealth if you're just going to keep it from the people you built it for?" Isabel responded subtly but powerfully, clapping hands, clapping emoji. Was this a quiet criticism of Matt's decisions? Fans definitely took it that way. Television: the end of Little People, Big World. After years of family tension, trauma, and shifting dynamics, Little People, Big World was officially canceled. The show that once captivated audiences with its heartfelt stories and unique family perspectives ended amid controversy, broken relationships, and unspoken pain. Many fans are still reeling from everything that's come to light. From Jacob's abuse revelations to the failed farm handoff to the emotional distance between family members. Yet through it all, Jacob remains a powerful symbol of resilience and redefinition. He chose to leave the fame. He chose not to become a character. He chose healing. And today, 10 years later, he's exactly where he wants to be. Off camera, on the farm, and finally free. It's been a full decade since Jacob Roloff made one of the most significant decisions of his life: to walk away from reality television, turn his back on the spotlight, and choose a quieter, more intentional path forward. Now, at 28 years old, Jacob is reflecting deeply on that journey. In a recent Instagram post shared in March 2025, he opened up about what it has meant to reclaim his autonomy and rebuild his life outside the gaze of the camera lenses that had followed him since childhood. "This spring marks 10 years since I got my money from the show I was on for over 10 years of my life," Jacob wrote in a heartfelt and revealing message. "I was 18 and finally had the agency to not sign the contract. So I didn't, and promptly left home mostly due to disgust for the show and reality TV in general." For over a decade, Jacob's childhood and adolescence were documented on the popular TLC reality series Little People, Big World, a show that gave. "Spring marks 10 years since I got my money from the show I was on for over 10 years of my life," Jacob wrote in a heartfelt and revealing message. "I was 18 and finally had the agency to not sign the contract. So I didn't, and promptly left home mostly due to disgust for the show and reality TV in general." For over a decade, Jacob's childhood and adolescence were documented on the popular TLC reality series Little People, Big World, a show that gave.